Welcome back to another episode of Q Points Podcast, dropping the needle on Black music history. I am DJ Sir Daniel.
And my name is J. Ray, sometimes known by my government as Johnny Ray Cornegay III, and I am so excited.
You have very good reason to be excited because J. Ray, the weather has cracked. There's a shift in the atmosphere. In just a few days, it'll be Virgo season. That's one. Okay?
One.
Shout out to us Virgos. It's Virgo season. And then two, right here in Atlanta, it's the highest of all high holidays. Labor Day weekend will be upon us. Mm-hmm. And I can't think of a better way to usher in Labor Day weekend than celebrating it with the musical genius of our guest.
There are so many things that we can say about the legend, bona fide legend. People throw around that title a lot. But the guest we are bringing up on the stage today has sang down, performed down, leaped all over the stage, given us visuals for years.
A little over a decade.
Oh,
I want to say more than a decade.
Oh, more. And
as a solo artist.
As a solo artist.
You got to point that out. So, without further ado, are we ready to do this?
Let's bring up the legendary.
The rock star.
RAHBI is here on Q Points.
On Q Points.
Oh, yes. Oh, here it is. Hello, beautiful people.
Listen, RAHBI, I just want to, okay, so I got to share a memory. My first memory of RAHBI was in 2009 at Smith's Old Bar in Midtown Atlanta, opening up for none other than Janelle Monáe. And when I tell you, when I say RAHBI is a rock star, I don't throw around the term rock star because a lot of performers don't understand how much real estate they have on stage. RAHBI is fully aware of the real estate that he has on stage, and that makes him a bona fide rock star. So that was my introduction to him, was in 2009 at Smith's Old Bar. He was you were on tour or opening for Janelle Monáe, and I was just enthralled from that moment. So I am honored to have this opportunity to chop it up with you and to talk about Strange. Let's talk about it.
My baby.
Let's get into it. So tell the people about Strange. It's going down at the Terminal West on August 31st here in Atlanta. And this series has evolved over the years. Which number is this?
I kind of stopped counting numbers because I got a little confused. I don't even know, but it has been going on since around 2008. Something like that. And Strange was birthed out of frustration. It was like a lot of new artists on the music scene, on any music scene in any city. You have your circuits and circles of, this is the in crowd. If you want to be on a dope show, you got to be a part of this crowd. And so that's what I was going through as a new, young, independent artist in Atlanta. And I just got tired of, number one, having to pay to play, having to sell all these tickets to perform. And once you do all those things, the stage is raggedy, the lights don't work, 3 people came, and you did all this amazing rehearsal to perform for tears. And I said, you won't get me too many more times. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So me and Kimberly Nicole was like, I don't know if you all are, well, you should be familiar with Kimberly Nicole, the rock ballerina. Me and Kimberly was like, let's put our money together, the little bit that we had, and create our own show. And we called it Strange Fruit. And the very first one was at the Apache Cafe. And me and Kimberly came together to just provide a platform for ourselves instead of, this is what I don't like what people do sometimes. And I just encourage them to, instead of complaining about things and saying, this is messed up, this is crazy, how can you fix it? Or how can you create the change you would like to see in the world, in your life, and whatever you're complaining about? You know what I'm saying? So that's what we did. We created a solution to that thing and birthed Strange for artists that just wanted it to be seen, you know. Yeah.
And that speaks to quality in a lot of Atlanta artists. Like, you were recently on an interview where you paid homage to an Atlanta legend, Jasmine Bonet, and you were sharing a story about her. And I just share with the audience really quickly about that magic sauce of being an Atlanta native creative.
I will say Atlanta has so many different types of brilliant Black folks, specifically Black folks. And so it's the South, right? So the South, we all go to church. So you got your singing gospel artists that's just amazing. You know what I'm saying? So I was inspired by my grandfather and going to church. We still have devotion at our church to this day in 2024, where you have the deacons, testimony service, all that. We don't do praise and worship. You do praise and worship at our church, it ain't gonna go over too well. You better get your down home spiritual sounding song and get with it, or they go just look at you and stare. So I come from that, but then I come from, like I said, it's a rich musical theater community in Atlanta, and specifically because of a few individuals. Freddie Hendrix, who started the Freddie Hendrix Youth Ensemble of Atlanta, and he was just started doing some very edgy plays with kids where he started at Tri-Cities High School, but the plays were so, they talked about HIV and AIDS and teen pregnancy. And, when you're in high school, parents are like, wait a minute, we can't be talking about all this stuff in school. So he started a company outside of the school called the Freddie Hendrix Youth Ensemble of Atlanta. And my dad used to take me to see their plays starting in seventh grade. So they were my original superstars. I wasn't looking at people on MTV and BET for inspiration. I was looking at these kids here in Atlanta, Georgia. And when I got to Georgia State University, one of those kids was in my class. And I was like, you're from YA. Oh my God, you're a star. You know what I'm saying? And so her name is Ife Okumabwa, and she started a theater company at Georgia State University with the Dr. Sherelle Luckett. And that was birthed out of frustration as well, because at that time, Georgia State just had a white theater company that wasn't doing no Black plays. We wanted to be seen. So these two beautiful Black women from East Point, freshmen, started their own company there at Georgia State University. I'm trying to make the quick story. I did that play. Freddie came. I joined YEA. So I'm saying all that to say I was inspired by musical theater in Atlanta. Jasmine Bonet. We have some of the dopest transgender performers in Atlanta. Jasmine Bonet, Stasha Sanchez, Raquel Lord, Naisha Dupree, the Empress of Atlanta. RuPaul started out in Atlanta. Let's be clear. So it's just Jasmine, all the amazing labels from LaFaith Records, Rowdy Records, So Def Records, Dallas Austin. I mean, just everybody. So I was inspired by mainstream music in Atlanta. So all those areas, that's my Atlanta experience, and I put it all into my music. You feel gospel, you feel drag, so you feel musical theater, you feel classical. I'm classically trained at Georgia State University out the vocal performance major. So I'm just pulled from I was in the jazz choir at Georgia State. So you hear jazz influences. It's like, I'm just staying true to my African-American experience.
What can folks expect? What you got in store for folks for Strange this year? What can folks expect? Because you always are giving the folks something new.
Yeah.
What you got going for them this year, RAHBI?
Well, I'm very excited about my set design this year because that's my musical theater influence.
Yes.
So the set design is building because in the beginning of the days, me and my friend Dr. Sherelle Luckett just had to put our money together and go to Michael's and throw glitter on everything. we didn't have no budget, but baby, we was. Hey,
let's put some streamers on this.
Right.
Listen. But I finally got to a point where I hired this amazing set designer. Her name is Charlie, and we assembled a beautiful team. So the stage is gonna look like we're going to the jungle this year at Strange. So when you walk into Terminal West, you will walk into the jungle with your waterfalls. And yeah, I ain't gonna say no other things, but it's just gonna be so beautiful. And as always, Strange just ultimately inspires people to embrace their light and their superpower. You know, whatever that may be. I want you to look at me and be like, you know what? He's so fearless. He's so amazing. I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna be that chef. I'm gonna be that football coach. I'm gonna be that the first Black president of the United States. I can do this. You know what I'm saying? So that's what Strange is it's all about. Oh, and also, I don't know if people know that this is the 40th year anniversary of Prince's Purple Rain album.
Yes.
So there will also be a tribute to Prince in the show this year.
Sidebar, on that vein, your version, you have a couple of versions that I've heard that you do of When Doves Cry that are some of the most beautiful versions of that song. So
Thank
I just want to give you some love on that.
I appreciate it.
No problem. So, you know, RAHBI, you are a light, and it's true. So when you talk about beautiful people, right? Like you just attract. Now, I'm not talking about beautiful physically. I'm just talking about beautiful all around, like these lights that also are with you, and you get a chance to see these lights on stage. So I remember going to a RAHBI performance and getting introduced to Willie Hen for the first time. And that would not have happened had I not been at a RAHBI show, right? You know, where there are these folks where you just kind of are always having these amazing folks on stage with you. So when you think about Strange and this year and, you know, taking folks to the jungle, what do you want folks to like get from that? Why did you decide to take them to the jungle this year? What were you feeling?
Last year when I did it, it was a little different because I've just, you know, I'm in a spiritual transitioning phase of my life. So I one of my last photo shoots, I was standing in front of, I don't know if you've seen it. I had the green hearts in my hair, and I was in front of a big green circle, and I was talking to a friend of mine. He's like, you know, that's the heart chakra right there. I was like, well, I don't really know a lot about chakras. Like, what do you mean by that? And you know, just the more your chakras are aligned, you're just more of a spiritual, balanced being. And it just made me really dive into that even more. And honestly, when I did and really focus really on the heart chakra, and which is symbolizes love, and when I made sure that all of my actions or trying to stay mindful, because it's not always a good day, you know, but you always gotta kind of like you take your car in for a tune-up. You gotta tune up your soul and your chakras and stuff. So I just try to stay mindful of all my actions being aligned with love and respect for God, love and respect for myself, and love and respect for others. And when you do that, you allow the Holy Ghost to lead you and dwell within all it is that you do. You know, so that Strange was a very special Strange for me, and everything was green. We were wearing green in my hair, green lighting, green. We came out to like a house version of the green sequence from the Wiz. It was just very, very intentional with that. So yeah.
You know what? Listen, I love all of that. I love intention. And sidebar, as Virgos, green is very synonymous with Earth, and as Earth signs, that's a coupling. So I gotta say that.
Virgo power,
absolutely. So here's something that that I love, especially about this year with Strange. This year is going to be a family affair. You talking about playing? J-Ray was talking about playing. We don't play enough. This time you're playing with your brother. And I think that it always fascinates me when people find out that your brother is Zoe, who people know from social media and from Wildin' Out. What was that like saying, you know what? I want you to open up this show and let's combine our superpowers this year.
Well, I don't know if people know, but Zoe has hosted a few Strange shows before, you know, but it's always fun. That is one of his superpowers. He knows how to get a crowd hyped. Like, it's just people when they're around him, you just have a good time. And I've had other hosts before, and they do a great job, but there's nothing like when he's on that stage. It's like your best friend is on stage. You're just kicking it with your best friend. And people are like, that's why you've seen influencers come and go, because it's not truly their passion. my brother has been ever since elementary school having those big VHS recorders, creating skits and plays with him and my sister dressing up as men and women, both of them, you know what I'm saying? And then like they didn't have a crowd or anything, just two people. So like he would act like it was a movie and it was over. He would take the table placement, and this is my hand. He would take it down like the curtain was closing. Over the play. And then to civilize people leaving the theater, him and my sister would just keep walking by the camera like, bye, 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 bye. But that's just that's showing you how brilliant his mind is. You know what I'm saying? So that's just his passion. He's so brilliant, and however I can support him, I'm going to. He's about to release a new YouTube series called The Realm, which is just like Strange, promoting artists and their music on the internet side of things. And and I'm helping with that, with creative direction on that show. So he hosts Strange, and I help him creative direction, find the artist. We just recorded the theme song together the other day, and we're just gonna keep inspiring these people together.
Yes.
That's got to be a special kind of gift, like a gift from the Most High, to have a family of creatives, right? And you all got to play with each other and support each other with your talents. As the elder statesman in Atlanta now, like what do you say to the up and coming artists that are trying to get their footing and even have an inkling of an idea to create an event like a Strange? And we know how daunting it is. Like you said, sometimes when you start off, there might be 3 people there. I know. So like what is your sage advice to these young people, to the the up and coming creatives that want to put in the work to make something like this happen?
Well, number one, to do something like a Strange and be like the promoter of it and creator of it, you got to be a leader first. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be able to work hard. You got to be able to have vision. You have to be able to figure some things out. You know what I'm saying? But I think even more than that, you have to be a nice person. You know what I'm saying? You have to be a nice person, because starting out, you're gonna need a lot of favors. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna from artists, from set designers, from hair, costume, all that. And if people don't like you and your energy,
you know what? We
talk to him, RAHBI.
I have a lot of creative friends, but that like me. You know what I'm saying? And they want to come help. You know what I'm saying? So that's really why a lot of stuff. Because I'm still at this point, I don't have the money of a major festival, but I'm thank God I'm able to start giving my friends something. But in the beginning, we were just all having fun because they just liked my ideas. You know what I'm saying? So I think more than all of it, just you have to be a good person.
RAHBI, you just preached to the people, and I will say, and I think I said this to Sir Daniel.
Let me say one more thing too. One more thing, I'm sorry. And whenever you touch any stage, show the fuck out. Show out. You know what I'm saying? So people be like, you know what? Whatever this guy does, I need to go and be a part of this. I keep hearing he is destroying stage. He or she, they are destroying stages. You know what I'm saying? So don't ever half step. I don't care if it's 1 or 2 people out there. You better perform like it's your last performance. So yeah.
Okay, so now I have a story that I'm going to tell the story, and then we're going to talk about that very thing. So my RAHBI story happened before I met you, RAHBI, and I had just moved to Atlanta, so this is like 2010, and my best friend, actually, shout out to Joshua, was like, you have to see this artist in Atlanta. His name is RAHBI. I went to a show. He had wings. There was glitter. He was singing. It was amazing. So whenever RAHBI is doing something, you need to go. So your reputation as a performer, and Joshua's a music dude, right? So he's like, so one of the things you need to do is go and see this dude, because he's going to do this. Now, let's spend some time here. So your mic is always on. Also are also you're very, like Sir Daniel said at the beginning, you have a understanding of and command of the stage that you're on, and you use it. I have recorded you up on, I didn't even know you was gonna get up on the speaker and do the thing like in the crowd. So there's like me under the camera and you're like on top of me, and there's like, and I'm like, I didn't know that was gonna happen. That is a lot of work physically. So can you talk about how you prepare for performance physically and also vocally? How do you protect this instrument? Because that's also really important too. How do you do that?
Yeah. Well, you hit on a lot of things. Demanding just the attention from the audience. I think that a lot of that came from my grandfather. Again, like pastors, they're basically like rock stars. You know, good ones. You know what I'm saying? Good ones are just rock stars. You know, my granddad real flash with all the jewelry, and you know, so the church helped with that. And then, like I said, I started singing in 7th grade, but like in high school, I was in all kind of choirs, and college, I was a part of choirs, and so I always do my warm-ups. They always tell you keep the throat wrapped up. You know what I'm saying? And when you have a show coming up, don't be screaming, and plenty of rest, plenty of water. And then I also musical theater, come from musical theater. We rehearse for hours, you know, so we're always moving our bodies and stretching, and there is no, like, a lot of times you don't always have a mic, you know, so you have to always, so I learned how to project and really just give like 100% all the time, you know, so that, what else was I about to say?
Oh, we got a vocal.
And so since I'm not doing musical theater all of the time, I go to the gym at least twice. I know it's not a whole lot, but at least twice a week. I go to a ab class and a step class, which helps me with my cardio. And my dad went to college on a track scholarship, so I'm like athletic anyway. You know, I just use it on stage. So when you see those big jumps I do on stage, I got the thighs and the legs of my dad. I just use it on stage, you know. So yeah, I'm built like that as well. I like moving. I don't feel good when I'm just standing still. I just get bored. So I'm a little vain, you know. So I want to look good. I want to look good in my outfit. So
and
just
you
like
do.
what Beyonce was talking about, when Beyonce, when it's time to perform, I work out. I cut out red meat, sugars, all that. I gotta be fine because I gotta get in my fit. I gotta get in my fit.
Go ahead, Sir Daniel.
If you're a serious artist, you know what I'm saying?
Right. And I was
not to
gonna
knock
say,
anybody else that, you know, that's for me. You know what I'm saying? Because there's people that's presenting amazing looks in other ways. Yeah, that's it for me.
No, I was going to say, the only thing I was going to say is that's a healthy desire when you are a performer and a rock star, because you are presenting, and if you and you're projecting what you're feeling, and if you're not feeling good, then people are going to pick up on that, and then who's going to want to be around
Absolutely, because I like to get naked on stage.
Well, then there's that. So
I want to get naked the way I want to get naked.
So listen, RAHBI told y'all, don't leave the kids at home. This is a grown
right.
This is a grown folks show.
Yeah.
And the only other thing I was going to say is I just don't feel that there are not a lot of rock stars around. And when we say rock stars, we're not just talking about one genre of music. I'm talking about people who embody the energy, that are energy gods. Like, I just saw Missy Elliott a couple weeks ago. There aren't any rock stars anymore. And so if you want to see a rock star in living color, you all have got to come out to Strange and check out RAHBI.
Absolutely. RAHBI. August 31st, Strange will go down, Terminal West in Atlanta. Go ahead and talk to the beautiful people listening or watching Q Points about why they need to be in the building. Let them know, RAHBI.
Because Strange is a reflection of you. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times as leaders in this crazy world, we feel very alone. You know what I'm saying? Like, we feel like there's nobody else like us. We look at things totally different differently because we are leaders. We are those strange individuals with those brilliant creative ideas in rock, in soul, in hip hop, in journalism, in fashion design, and strange is where you could come and see yourself and be like, oh, I'm not a this is my community. You know what I'm saying? So come to Strange to get recharged and go and just continue to fearlessly embrace your light. That's why you need to be there.
Folks, you are so welcome. Thank you so much for coming and checking out Q Points. For all of y'all that are tuning in, y'all know what to do. Make sure, first and foremost, get tickets to see Strange on August 31st. Do that. Also, if you can hear us, if you can see us, hit the subscribe button wherever you are. Visit qpoints.com where you can sign up for our newsletter and check out all of our other content. And you can visit our store at store.qpoints.com. We love you and we appreciate
and thank y'all for having me so much.
Absolutely.
You're so
totally.
welcome.
Listen, it has been our pleasure. And like I always say every week, in this life, you have a choice. You can either pick up the needle or you can let the record play. I am DJ Sir Daniel.
I am J Ray.
And I'm
folks.
I'm the beautiful Radhi.
Is Rob.
You are.
He's the beautiful RAHBI. And this has been Q Points Podcast, dropping the needle on Black music history. We will see you on the next go round. We'll see you at Strange.
Peace, y'all.